Hey, what's up? It's me, your boy Archie B, coming at you from Realities in Recovery. I know I haven't been around. I've had Sebastian and Paco and a couple other people showing up and doing shows for me. I hope you enjoyed it. But I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today to get serious about what's going on with this piece. I've been around for probably about 3 years now, doing my thing, and then I have my other show, of course, it used to be called Crosstalk, now it's called Trusting Hands. And just doing a lot of work in the ministry and doing a lot of work in recovery. As you know, I work in a recovery house, a rather large recovery house, and I'm trying to do my thing and maintain my recovery. But that's what I wanted to talk to you about. That's what I wanted to spend some time getting serious with you about, was what's going on with this recovery piece. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about life in general. I want to talk about responsibilities and things that sometimes we take for granted. You know, when we come to places like this, or if you're in recovery and you're going to meetings or you're involved in things that are going on in your life, you have to take stock in the things that you have. You have to take stock in the things that you're doing. You have to be aware of the blessings that you have from not being in the grave and from not being in the hospital on being intubated or something like that from an overdose, or being homeless or anything like that. We have to really take stock in the good things that we have in our lives today and the goodness that we have in our lives today. And we have to promote that within ourselves. We have to remember that this is not a life that we were intended to have. We were intended to have good lives and be productive people and live productively in society. And sometimes we lose track of that. We take advantage of the things that we have. Being in the situation I'm in, I see people come and go and come and go. And it's basically because they don't realize the goodness that they have in their lives, or they're not willing to deal with the things that they have to deal with in order to get to a better place. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has difficulties. Everybody has a history. We all have a past. But the bottom line is, when you're trying to get your life together, those are the things that you have to deal with. You have to learn how to deal with your past. You have to learn how to deal with all the positives and the negatives and all the things that come in between. It's just life. It's the way it is. When you create something, you have to learn how to uncreate it and do better with yourself. I spent 40 years out there creating the person that I was. I spent 40 years lost in my addiction, lost in my alcoholism, lost in being homeless, lost in being locked up in prison, lost in being in institutions. I became institutionalized, where that was the only life I knew. That was the only thing I knew, to try to stay sober and have a life within myself and have some reasonable peace. It was living in chaos. My life was built around chaos. My life was built around a whole bunch of drama and, you know, going here and going there and creating issues and just doing things that I just shouldn't have been doing. Living a lifestyle that I shouldn't have lived when I could have been living better. And it took me 40 years to realize that that's not who I am. It took me 40 years to realize that that's not what God wants from me. I have to learn how to live a life according to the things that God wants me to have. I have to learn to live a life according to the things that are good for me, to be productive, to be able to have something good going on in my life, to be able to say to myself, you know what, I am somebody. I deserve good things. I deserve to have good things in my life. And you guys can do it too. Each and every one of you can have that type of lifestyle. Each and every one of you can change your life, can change your ways, and can be a part of something good, something better for yourselves. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that there's something better out there for us, and we have to reach out for it. It took me such a long time to climb out of this hole that I'm in. It took me such a long time to learn that I'm a better person, that I'm not some raggedy human being, that I am somebody, that I can have a life and I can make a life for myself. And once I started realizing that, life got better for me. But it happened because I went through a process. I went through the process of dealing with all of my issues, with dealing with all the ugly things that were popping up in my life, dealing with the hate and the anger that I had towards other people and towards myself. I had to really wake up and realize that it's going to be okay, that I can get through these things, and if I get through these things, that there's something better on the other side of it. You have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that there's something better in your life. There's something better for you. You have to reach out and grab it. You have to walk through your pain. You have to walk through your suffering. You have to walk through all those feelings that got you to where you were and will get you, and once you get past them, they're going to build a better person up in you. They're going to build self-esteem. They're going to build all the things that you need them to build so you can have a better life, so you can be a better person, so you can have a life that's worthy, that you're worthy of. Each and every one of you are worthy of having good things. All you have to do is try and keep pushing and keep pushing, and it's going to get better for you. I want to tell you something. Life is just what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do to change it. Things are going to happen. We're going to go through changes. Sometimes we're going to get fired from a job for whatever reason. Sometimes we're going to have to move out of an apartment for whatever reason. Sometimes we're going to lose things. We're going to lose people. We're going to have issues that are going to hurt us. We're going to break up in relationships. People are going to die that we love. But the thing is that we have the strength within us, and all you have to do is try. We have the strength within us to overcome these things. But you have to work at it. It takes work. It's a process. And you can go through the process if you just keep plugging. You're going to make it. I know that there were times when my dad died. When my father died, I was upset, and I was new in recovery. I was new in this process, and I went to the funeral. And when I got done with the funeral, I went home, and the only thing that came to my mind was, go out and get something to drink to forget. Go out and get something to drink to forget. Go out and get high to forget. But you know what? I realized that that's not an answer, because when I get done using, when I get done drinking, he's still going to be dead. There's nothing I can do about it. He's gone. I have to learn to accept that and move on with it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you today. When you have situations that overcome you, sit back, take a step back from it, look at the situation, figure out what you can and can't do, and then move forward. But don't react. Reacting to something is the worst thing that you can do. When you react to something, what you're telling yourself is, I can't overcome it. When you react to something, you're telling yourself, I don't have the strength to get through it. When you react to something, what you're saying to other people is, I'm weak. Because you don't know how. It's just like when you're dealing with a person and a person comes into you with a certain statement, or calls you out your name, or disrespects you in a certain way, and you react. That's what I'm used to doing. Someone call me the N-word, I automatically snap. Someone calls me something or talks about my mother, I automatically snap. You have to learn when something like that is happening, they're looking for a reaction from you. They want you to respond in a negative manner. They want you to be ugly like they're being ugly. But what we have to learn is that we don't have to be that way, and we don't have to go through those things in those situations. Your boss tells you you're fired, you lost your job, you're wondering how you're going to pay your rent. You take a step back and you look at it, and you have to analyze it. One thing I've learned is that anything that happens to me, I played some kind of part in it. There's something that I did to play a part in everything I do. Whether it's negative or positive, I did something. So if I'm working a job and I get fired, I have to look at the situation and I have to tell myself, okay, what part did I play? Was I not showing up for work? Was I not being productive at my job? Was I not doing the right things? Did I do something shady? Did I steal something? We have to look at that. And then after that, we have to make progress from that point, learn the lesson, and move on to the next thing. It might have been the way that we were talking to people. It might have been our attitudes. Some of us live in an attitude. Some of us live in anger. Some of us live in hate because we're not dealing with our own feelings. And that's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to learn how to deal with your own feelings and be a person, a likable person, I'm going to say it. To be a likable person. It's hard. It's hard to learn how to change the attitude of being an angry person all your life to being a good person. It's hard to try to change things from being the type of person that is non-productive to being a person that's productive. But we all have it in us to do. There's always a way to do it. You always have to take the time to just say, you know what, I can change my ways. You know, I was angry for a long time at my mother. I was angry for a long time at myself. I had a lot of self-hate and a lot of self-degradation going on where I didn't care about anything. But what I had to do was I had to change that behavior. I had to look at that behavior and I had to figure out what I can do to turn that around. And that's what this life is all about. When you get yourself in a hole, you got to find a way to turn it around. You got to find a way to turn them negatives into positives. And there's always a way. It's a challenge. Sometimes you don't know how to do it, and sometimes it becomes aggravating and you're frustrated and you don't know what to do. But that's when you stop and breathe. That's a technique that I've learned. I've learned to stop, take a breath, step back, go through a thought process, and then reevaluate the situation and see what I can do about it. I try not to. I'm not going to say I don't, that's a lie. I try not to react to things anymore. I try not to get angry. I try to put in place learning how to keep my mouth shut before I say something that's going to be hurtful to somebody else or that's going to come back and bite me in the butt. So we have to sit back and analyze these things and look at things, and this is the way I do it. I just stop, I lay back, I take a breath, and I look at what my role is in, what my role in it is. It's sometimes it's hard to practice. It's a hard practice to learn to incorporate into your life. But I'm telling you, it can be done. It's not a hard thing to do. It's challenging, but it's not hard. But in this recovery piece, we have to learn, because the disease of addiction is going to try to pull off all kind of tricks on us. It's going to try to make us think one thing when we should be thinking something else. It's going to try to make us see one thing when we know it's not that. It's going to present itself in all kind of different ways. That's going to want to make you run to your addict behavior, to your drug or to the alcohol. And we have to be careful of that. That's why we have, you know, when I was in prison, there was an old man that told me to drink water and walk slow. He said, you know, and I didn't never understand what he meant by that. But as you know, in prison it's a life rough style, and sometimes you could end up getting hurt. And he said, sometimes, you know, if someone's going to do something to you, if you're walking slow, I keep saying it that way, if you're walking slow and drinking water, you're paying attention to everything that goes on around you. So I learned from that experience and from being in prison that sometimes I have to just take it easy. Sometimes I have to just stop and roll with it. Sometimes I have to just stop and just let it flow and be what it's going to be, paying attention to everything that goes on around me. If I'm paying attention to all the things that are going on around me, 9 times out of 10, I have a really good chance of doing the right thing. And so, you know, we have to look at it at a point where it's a challenge. This is something that's going to go on in our lives. This is something that we're going to have to struggle with for the rest of our lives. It's not something that's going to go away. It's not something that we're going to get to overcome. It's something that we have to deal with on a daily basis. It's something that we have to look at on a daily basis. We have to allow ourselves to get strong enough to say to this disease that you're not going to win anymore. You're not going to overcome. You're not going to overcome my person of being anymore. You're not going to make the ugly come back in my life anymore. I know that that's one of the things that I have to do every day on a daily basis. Me being a minister and being a man of God, I approach things from a spiritual sense. But this is a show about recovery, so I'm not going to go there. But I'm telling you guys, learn to lean on what you have within you. Learn to lean on the person that you are. Learn to lean on the strengths that God gave you so you can become that better person that you need to be in your recovery. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to blossom. Allow yourself to look at your talents and look at the things you have within you and become somebody. Become what life has meant you to be, because you have it within you. You can do this. I promise you, you can do it. But what you have to do is you have to remain strong enough inside to get through each and every day. And when you get done with the day, examine the day. Look at what you did. Look at what you went through. And ask yourself, what could I have done better? What could I have changed? What could I really have how could I have approached this person in a different way? All these things you look at the end of the day, they call it a 10th step. But you do that at the end of every day, and it makes the next day better. It also gives you the space to go over
over your mistakes or to go over your aggravations and allow God to be who God's going to be in your life. Allow recovery to be what it's going to be in your life. I should have said higher power because, you know, I'm a minister. I got to get out the God thing. But you know, you have to allow this recovery piece to be what it's going to be in your life. And when you go through these frustrations and these changes and all the stuff that you got to go through, you sit back and go through the day, and you're going to have a lot more peace when you go to bed at night. You're going to be a lot more at peace when you go to bed at night because you've dealt with your issues. You've dealt with your struggles. You've gone over everything you need to go over. And now you're becoming that better man or woman in life that you want to be. Guys, it's a simple process. You can get it done. I believe in you. Everybody out there who is in recovery can do this. All you have to do is put forth the strength and take the time to believe in yourself. That's what it's about. It's about looking at you. It's about dealing with you. If I go around blaming other people for my mess, if I go around blaming other people for my trips and changes and the stuff that I go through and the person that I used to be, I'm never going to get clean and sober. I'm never going to have anything. I'm never going to have a life. That's what it is. We have to be able to trust and believe in ourselves and gain that strength and gain that peace of mind and gain that place in life that we're supposed to be at. Trust in God, trust in yourselves, believe that you can do this. You can do this. I'm telling you, if I can do it after 40 years of being out there and messing up my life like I did, you can do this. I've become so much of a better person, so much of a deeper person because of the fact that I've had something in my life and my higher power strengthens me, and I go through each day and I know who I am, and I strengthen myself, and I ask God to be there for me, to love on me, and to help me through. Guys, you can do this. And I apologize, I keep using the G word for you people that don't believe in God and recovery, but that's my thing and I'm sticking to it. But I'm just telling you, you can do this. You can make it through recovery. You can have some peace of mind. You can have some peace of being. You can be a better person. All you have to do is believe in yourself and try. This is Archie B, Realities in Recovery. I'm out.